That we did serious advances, but not only in the region from the north in direction of Kharkov, but mostly from the east to west in Donbass area. I think that both advances are important in this sense because the whole front line, which is now more than 1,000 kilometers, is moving from the east to west, and but this is just the beginning of the summer campaign, which is still in May, and we have 3 more months or 4 or 5 months, and I think that we move very seriously now. It is clearly that we have serious advantages on different lines. We have numerical superiorities in equipment, in techniques, in armor, in artillery, and also in manpower, certainly. We did manage our economy to go seriously to help the army. We have trained people over there. People is not mainly on contract over there, so they fight for money. In Ukraine, it is totally different. Its economy depends on the others. It does not produce any significant advantages or any significant supplies to the army. They depend totally on the foreign aid. Here, the soldiers are now less and less trained because of course they have declared a new appeal to the army, but it is now supplied with people that are not trained and that are not motivated at all to go to fight. So most of them are trying to escape differently, either to Europe or to Moldova, which is Moldavia next to it. Some of them are running to Russia as well. So just in all ways, we do not see that, especially this issue of motivation. It is now, which was important at the beginning of events for the Ukrainians. Right now, you do not see any cues that to the places where they register people for the army. Whatever. So we are prepared for negotiations. The problem is that Ukraine has publicly prohibited this type of negotiations by law, by decree, and we do not see any desire on the part of Ukraine so far, or desire on the part of Washington or London, who are behind the Ukrainian government to negotiate. As for us, I can say that we were close to an agreement even 2 years ago in April. Initially, it was negotiations took place in Minsk. Then, in certain stages, it moved to Istanbul, and then the draft agreement was initialed by Ukrainian side. We have proofs for that, but later on, they have got either themselves or it was dictated by London and Washington that they should not negotiate, but they should fight. So that's the result of all what is happening. I think that we are prepared to negotiate, but I didn't say that it will be the same alliance as it is. Once we have already been in this trap when we have stopped movements or any actions, and Ukraine suddenly said, no, we are going to fight. It will be, of course, silly once again to repeat the same situation, to stop to do any action and just to go into the negotiations. And at that time, Ukraine will refurbish itself, rearm itself, get more power, and then say, okay, negotiations are out of table, so we will continue. As I have said, our economy has been reoriented to supply the army, and we have enough of production capabilities to do it ourselves. As for China, our trade has increased, and it will continue to increase, I believe, because the visit by President Putin to China was very successful. It was his first visit. After that, a lot of documents has been signed to the end, but if Chinese do reject it, that they do not supply us with little weapon, but basically we do not need it at all. I hope that they are not going to repeat the story of Ukraine, which that mistreated Russian population, discriminated it, and finally decided to push it out of Ukraine totally. So This we cannot call good neighborly relations, of course. But at the same time, these countries are members of NATO, and they are doing these violent or belligerent statements, having NATO umbrellas covering themselves, which makes it absolutely unattractive, I would say. I will not speak too much about the United States. Having experience of last two elections, one can see that it will be a big scandal after that and counting, so it is simply no reason to predict it. So, as for the United Kingdom, I can imagine that it will be pretty soon kind of saying in the press that Russia is trying to interfere in elections. I just anticipate that it's already started. Believe me, we have no single reason to do that, because of the foreign policy of these two parties, I mean conservatives and laborists, is alike. They have no difference. Moreover, I will say that we haven't yet seen the final manifesto by the laborers, but as far as I understand, they have nothing new to propose to electorate, both in the field of domestic politics, economics, social politics, and so on. And more, these two parties, conservatives and laborists, they have absolutely the same politics in all directions. The laborists were supposed to defend rights of workers, which doesn't happen at all. Right now, of course, it's a party more of bosses and business people than it. So, and I talked a lot with people here, with different figures, and they think that there is less and less differences between the two parties. It depends now on faces. So you vote for this face or you vote for that face.